Mortal Kombat is the story of MMA fighter Cole Young, played by Louis Tan, accustomed to taking a beating for money, is unaware of his heritage or why Outworld's Emperor Shang Tsung has sent his best warrior, Sub-Zero, an otherworldly cryomancer, to hunt Cole down. Fearing for his family's safety, Cole goes in search for Sonya Blade at the direction of Jax, a special forces major who bears the same strange dragon marking Cole was born with. Soon, he finds himself at the temple of Lord Raiden, an elder god, and the protector of Earthrealm, who grants sanctuary to those who bear the mark. Here, Cole trains with experienced warriors Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and rogue mercenary Kano as he prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. But will Cole be pushed hard enough? But will Cole be pushed hard enough to unlock his arcana, the immense power from within his soul, in time to save not only his family but to stop Outworld once and for all? So this is like one of the this Mortal Kombat. I haven't seen the original. So my story with Mortal Kombat is that I haven't seen the original Mortal Kombat movies that came out like the 90s, whatever. The original Mortal Kombat, I heard it was awful. I heard the original Mortal Kombat movies, Mortal Kombat and then Annihilation, were awful. But they but it's awful, but in a good way, if that makes sense. I do know that there are people out there who love the original Mortal Kombat movies, but they are aware of how atrocious the acting and just everything about those two movies. I don't think there was a third movie. I think it was just Mortal Kombat and then the sequel, Annihilation, and then this is a reboot of it. But yeah. So, I haven't played the games, but I haven't played the Mortal Kombat games, but I have seen... The reason I don't play the games is because it's too advanced for me. I mean, you're mashing a bunch of buttons to get like combo moves, and it's out of my experience. It's out of my experience. That's something I don't really, games like Mortal Kombat, like Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter. Those types of games I don't play with. I don't play because I'm really bad at them. But even though I haven't played the Mortal Kombat video games, I have seen the playthroughs of it on YouTube. And the gameplay and the playthroughs and all of that, and it looks really fun. I love the story. I love these characters, and I love these games despite me not playing them. But yeah, so Mortal Kombat, this movie is like right up there with Godzilla vs. Kong as movies that I'm really looking forward to. So I'm more excited about Mortal Kombat than I was with Godzilla vs. Kong. But yeah, so here's what I can say about this movie, is that I appreciate and I love the faithfulness and the violence, or as I like to call them, fatalities, in this movie. I love and I appreciate their faithfulness and the violence in this movie, but unfortunately, the screenplay and like the plot of the actual, like the plot of the movie is the major issue I have with this movie. It's the plot, it's the screenplay, it's horrible, it's terrible. But the only thing I would rather, here's what I think. I would rather watch a compilation of all the incredible action scenes in this, or the fight scenes in this movie, than the actual movie. If that makes any sense. So yeah, although I love the action scenes, they were brutal, they were violent, and I loved it. But yeah, like, so basically, all of these. So basically, Lord, Raiden is like recruiting the best champions. They found all these characters. He found like these group of characters. I do like Kano, even though there was a point. Even though when Kano was introduced in the movie, I did like him, but then later on, I was like, okay, is he gonna be the comic relief? Is he the comic relief? Because he was seriously getting on my nerves at a point, and he wasn't really funny. And like, I don't really. The thing about these characters is that there's no one here, not even the main character, like Cole Young, who I don't think he's a character from the video games. I think it's just a character for this movie, an original character, Lewis Lewis Tan. Yeah, I think he's just an original character. I don't think he's a character from the video game. But anyway, so he's like a descendant. So Lewis Tan, Cole Young is a descendant to Scorpion. I mean, this movie. I mean, the first like 7 minutes of this movie was released on YouTube. I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. I want to see the actual movie, but I waited for the actual movie. But Scorpion and Sub-Zero are the only two characters, despite not having much of them in this movie. Despite not having much of them in this movie, are the only two characters that I actually really liked. I didn't give a shit about the other characters. I don't really care if they died or if they survived. There's no one to latch onto. They just recruit there's like here's like a group of our characters. They get trained and then they fight. It just that's it. They just train and they fight. And they fight, and then Shang Tsung, he's not a great villain. I mean, he just sends more and more villains and antagonists against our heroes, our champions. That's it. That's his job. That's all he does. He just sends all these criminals and these villains, these antagonists to like go after our heroes, our protagonists. And like Melina and my boy Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is he's like my top three. He and Scorpion, I don't know who's the third I haven't really made up a decision of who the third person is, but he and Scorpion are like my favorite characters of Mortal Kombat. And he's just Melina and these characters are just Melina and Sub-Zero. They're just there to fight the champions. To fight these heroes, and he's just a henchman. They're just hench people working for Shang Tsung, and it's like there's nothing else. There's nothing to this movie. Just sending more and more people to fight. I understand. It's like an action scene. It kind of, the movie does really feel like a video game. It really does feel like the Mortal Kombat, the actual video game. Like first there's like a cutscene. I get a cutscene, quote unquote, and then there's like a fight scene, and then there's a fight scene that kind of feels like round one, round two, kind of like. If that makes any sense, like, but yeah, there's just nothing else to it. There's just nothing else. Trying to think if there's anything else I forgot. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really give a shit about any of the characters. I wanted to see more of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I mean, the movie opened up with they're both of the clans fighting against each other, and I liked how both, like, Scorpion was speaking Japanese and Sub-Zero was speaking in Chinese, and they were speaking in their traditional languages, and they didn't understand each other. I love that. I love how they didn't understand each other. But yeah, those are the only two characters that I wanted to see more of, but Scorpion's barely in it. Like, he's in the beginning of the movie, and he's at the end of the movie. And then Sub-Zero, that's not a spoiler. I wasn't spoiling anything about the movie. Anything crucial about the movie, about Scorpion. And then Sub-Zero is just a henchman. I didn't really care about Cole Young, Jack, Sonya Blade, Kano. They're just there to be recruited and just to fight against Shang Tsung and his team, whatever. So yeah, do I want to see a sequel? I could definitely see the possibilities. I could definitely see where the second movie might open up to, but they gotta change the script. They gotta work with the script. They gotta change. They gotta fix the plot, because like, it's really like the major issues with the movie. They really have to fix it, because right now it's not that great. It's not that good. So like I said, I'd rather watch a YouTube compilation of all the action scenes in this movie than the actual movie. That's how I feel. I mean, it might be like a 30-minute to like an hour long, almost to an hour long video, but that would be the movie right there, because the rest of it is just garbage. So anyway, that's what I have to say about Mortal Kombat. I was disappointed. I loved the games so much. I really love the games. I understand with the video game adaptations can be very hard. I mean, there are examples. There are rarely time. I did like the Tomb Raider movie. The Tomb Raider that came out, I think in 2016. And then The Witcher. But I think The Witcher is more based on the books than the actual games. But whatever. I feel like those two are like the better video games. I know it's very hard when it comes to this. But anyway, that's all I have to say for Mortal Kombat. Really disappointed, but I hoped it would have been better, but I did like the action scene. I appreciate the faithfulness to the comics, but like saying out loud, Kano wins or fatality, or just saying it out loud, it's just really I was like, really? I was shaking my head like, really? Did he or she just say out loud this? Okay, whatever. I understand what they were trying to do, but it felt really weird. But let me know what you guys thought about Mortal Kombat. And thank you so much for taking this time and watching my review of it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and I will see you in my next video.